Hey survivors, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Vonnie, guys. I want to guys, I just want to thank you guys for your comments, guys. They have been helping me in my healing process. Yes, I'm still healing, guys. I'm still under attack, so I'm speaking firsthand in a lot of these videos, and yeah, I'm still healing. I'm still learning. So I'm not, I'm not done with learning. I don't think I will ever be done with learning about narcissism and just learning about their different ways and the behaviors, guys. So I'm still in the same boat as many of you are. If you definitely by way of family court, if you do share children with a narcissist. But it is a blessing, guys. Just helping others heal. I'm just thankful. It is a blessing in my life, guys. I'm thankful to just help other people. So in today's video in particular, guys, I want to talk about abuse. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's kind of hard to make videos like this because it's just so devastating to put it all together in words, guys. So just bear with me. It's just a lot to think about. Yes, I'm a victim of abuse, domestic violence, and going through the legal process and everything as a whole. Just the dynamics of being abused, guys, being just scared to death. Nobody, when you go to court, the judges are not scared. I mean, you're looking at the narcissist, what they're capable of doing. The monster, the animal inside of them, and they're just staying so composed and just charming the judges in court. And it's very hard to digest. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of it's a lot going on. I can't compare it to any other type of abuse, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to compare it to sexual abuse or emotional abuse, but this is just about physical violence, domestic violence, guys. So there's no need to compare them all because they're all definitely devastating, guys. But I am just talking about domestic violence, just experience firsthand, the legal process, and like I said, I've been reluctant on making this video because it's still a lot to talk about. A lot of people don't really believe your story. They believe that it could have happened a different way, and it's just so much, but I know that it could probably help somebody, especially if they're still with the narcissist. I have to be careful what I say, guys, in these videos, because I know a lot of people are still in a relationship or a marriage, to a narcissist. So I'm just here to help, guys, and just help everybody do some critical thinking and just have this conversation with you all, guys. So just being abused, guys, one of the things that I think a lot of victims have a hard time with, that a lot of people just don't understand that haven't been abused. I mean, you're literally scared to death of this person because of what they did to you physically. They could have slapped you or, bashed your head into the wall, causing concussions, even damage. I seen on Facebook, I seen some awful photographs going around that were showing some of the victims of abuse that have been abused by narcissists or malignant narcissists, psychopaths. They were awful. Some of the females, most of them were female. Well, actually, I'm sorry, all of them were females. Photos, they were really in bad shape, really black and blue, black eyes. It's just hard to look at that, and that's what a lot of people see as abuse. When you don't have those scars, it's even harder to prove, which in my case, I didn't have scars, but it doesn't mean that it didn't happen, because it definitely did happen, and it was very painful, but it just wasn't any physical scars that people can see. So there's a lot of different ways narcissists can abuse you. Again, they can cut off your air supply, slap you around. They usually like to do it behind closed doors because that they're very sneaky. They don't want other people to know that they're abusive. They want other people to think of them as nice, charming, great fathers or great mothers. They want people to look at them as friendly, a kind person. That's why it's so hard when you do speak up about abuse, because a lot of people are not going to see that. They're not going to believe you, unfortunately. So a lot of victims feel just helpless, just helpless, because they know that people think this way of the narcissist. They know that people just are not going to believe them. I think a lot of victims already have it in their mind. They're scared, and it's mixed with them feeling helpless and then ashamed, embarrassed, because you're like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Out of all people, this is happening to me. How do I talk about this? This is not, it's something that's not easy to talk about. So that's what holds a lot of people back too. And, narcissists have a way about pulling you away from your family, distancing you. When you're in relationships with them, all of a sudden you don't talk to your sisters as much, your brothers as much. They don't really know what's going on inside of that relationship. That's why, everybody thinks you're just happy and, everything is going good for you. That's all they see. But when you tell them the horror stories, it's just hard for a lot of people to really understand that this really happened to you. So, where you go. You have unsupportive family members and friends. Sometimes when you do talk to them, they may even tell you, like, I don't know if he did all that. Are you serious? Wow, maybe y'all should just stay away from each other. Or, sometimes family members don't know what to say. A lot of them just can't really believe it because they didn't see it. Some people just don't believe things that they didn't see. They have to really see the physical scars, like I told you guys about the pictures, photos that were trending on Facebook. A lot of people just only see that as signs of abuse, but not everybody is fortunate enough to have all of that physical evidence, especially if you're going to court, domestic violence court. I have found more support going through domestic violence court. For me personally, I don't know, all of you all story, but for me personally, I've found more support. I had attorney that worked for me pro bono for free. And I just, most of my evidence was circumstantial. Circumstantial. So, they did have the narcissist in there, and he had, oh my gosh, he had all of these flying monkeys with him. And it's just me, against like several people. And it just played out in my favor. And I'm just thankful for that, because I don't know. I just didn't have that much evidence, really. I didn't really have any evidence. It was just, they would just listen to the story, so they do take, for a lot of victims that never been to court, a lot of people never been to court that have been abused, and they just think that nobody's going to believe me because there's no marks, it's no scars. I can't go to the law because he's going to deny it and manipulate everybody. So nobody's going to believe me. But in court, they still do take a lot of circumstantial evidence. You tell your side, and then the narcissist tell his side. The judge just figures out what happens, gets a deeper understanding. And I'll never forget what the narcissist said. Quote, his words, not mine. I did it, but I didn't do it. This is what he meant. I did it, but I didn't do it. He slapped me. That was the reason that that was it for me. That was the last time, but not the first time that he put his hands on me. So I had enough. The first time it's hard to leave, like a lot of victims, and a lot of people say, why didn't you just leave? I don't understand. Because you just can't believe it. It's just so much, it's just a lot. It's just so hard to explain. But the time that he got, in trouble with the law was from a slap, and that's enough. It doesn't, whatever they do to you, abuse is abuse. It's no difference than seeing somebody with visible scars. It's still abuse. It's all the same. That's what I mean. So, when the trial played out, the judge said, I believe her. I don't believe you. Why didn't you leave her alone? Like, she just got an understanding of the story. And I just got more support on the criminal side, which is interesting because in family court, I just feel like there's a lack of punishment, a lack of accountability held for narcissists. I feel like they, that he, got away with just so many things, just a slap on the wrist. He's not a type of person that needs a slap on the wrist. He needs discipline. He got away with breaking laws. Perjury and just violating court orders. But family court is just so, so lenient to me. That's why I really hate the process, and I hope that it changes one day. I do think, guys, I just have a good feeling that since we all are getting this knowledge and gaining this information, we're growing as a community. I feel like it's going to be a good thing in the future. I probably won't be around to see it, but I feel like a lot of these laws will change one day, guys. I just feel like change is going to come. I'm just a positive thinking person. But moving on, guys. If someone that you believe you love, or you believe you love, and they claim that they care about you, but they're capable of being that dangerous, physically attacking you. I mean, that's what narcissists do. That's what they do. They'll physically attack you, hurt you, just because they're enraged. If you leave them, or if you, you put them out, or if you stand up to them, you can cause a narc injury. It's a lot of ways to cause a narc injury. Just stand up to them or embarrass them. I mean, I won't waste time trying to figure that out, but now thinking about it in hindsight, I'm like, okay, just because I put him out and I didn't want to be in a relationship that caused a big narc injury, so he wanted to become physically violent, So narcissists, when you do speak up, guys, you got to be prepared for, things to happen. They want to have excuses for their behaviors. If they want to draw you back in, or if you're still in a relationship or the marriage, they want to, they have excuses. They start the manipulating process, start the gaslighting and the projection, start their whole manipulation process. I'm pretty sure not all narcissists are violent, because I know a lot of people haven't dealt with domestic violence, but it is pretty common, So the hardest thing, again, that a lot of victims, it's hard for them to speak up about it, is because narcissists are charming in public. That's what they do. They are a narcissist. It's a facade. The public sees them as a good person, loving father, a team player, so on. Just because they go very, very far to make the public look at them as that way, that's the false self. They will always keep up that image for everybody. Let me get a sip of my coffee, guys. It's the morning time here, and I just I made me some coffee and I just need a little sip of it, guys. So when narcissists, when they aren't in control, when they're losing control, or they feel like they don't have any control anymore over you, they can tell. They can tell that you change. I never said they couldn't tell. They couldn't see certain things, so they get crazy. They rage. Their punishments are cruel. Biting, choking, hitting, shoving, cutting off your air supply, anything that they have to do to get you back in line, to get you back into check. They want to punish you, and they will physically abuse you. Speaking from somebody that has been through the court process, and had a year restraining order against him, and they go and break restraining orders because they just want you to know that you belong to them. They can have access to you. Nobody should be able to tell them that they can't have access to you. You are like a piece of property to them, So they're very sick. They'll go get a charge, violating a restraining order, just because they are so busy trying to prove a point to you, They're very sick. But amongst other things, guys, narcissists, they live in denial, inside that crazy head of theirs. They're always living by a set of double standards. Everybody knows this. You're not able to really resolve a conflict with them because they always feel like they had a reason to do something, and they'll end up pushing that into you, projecting that into you, and projecting their bad behaviors on you, and trying to take your good behaviors and make it seem like this is what they are. are flip artists. They're always flipping, constantly turning things around. And people that are not, very smart, not very intellectual, they will miss this. It's kind of easy to see if you have a lot of life experiences, if you're very sharp and a quick thinker. I've seen some judges that were very quick when he's talking in court, that were very quick, and they said, hey, didn't you just say this, or where do you live at? It was just stuff that just wasn't adding up during the trial. And you have to be a very sharp thinker. You can't be a lazy person. I've seen some lazy judges too in court that just, everything just slips by them, and they really miss everything that the narcissist is saying. So I feel like for narcissists, your whole entire purpose to them is to serve them as narcissistic supply. You are just supply to them. They're using you for something. Narcissists are users. They're con artists, professional con artists, professional liars, professional users. They are using you for something. And it could be something little. They may, if you're a family member of a narcissist, maybe they're using you for gossip and, to talk about other family members, that's supply to them. They could be using you for other things, most commonly money or, sex or, anything, a place to stay, anything. So they don't care. They don't care about love or relationships. They don't at all. That's the last thing that's on their mind. They care about having you as a source of narcissistic supply. And when things go wrong, when they abuse you, they're going to deny all those accusations easily, and project it back onto you. That's why if you ever go take a narcissist to court for domestic violence and you fill out a restraining order, the first thing that they're going to do is file a restraining order against you too. How do I know this? Because it happened to me. And the judge threw that out. It was just ridiculous. They'll say you hit them and all that crazy stuff too. They love projecting. They love, it's just a way to drive people insane, to cause so much confusion and chaos. And people are just looking like maybe they're both wrong. If he's wrong, then she's wrong too. And that's how a lot of people get arrested when they didn't even do nothing. They were actually the victim, the one that was abused. It's just a narcissist trying to, set you up to get arrested. So that's why it's important to just stay away from them. Stay far, far, far away as possible. I don't care what the circumstances are. I've talked about them in other videos. I think I broke it down. Even if you are co-parenting, I understand it. I've been doing it for a long time now. You still need to stay away from them. They're very dangerous, to your lifestyle, to your health, to everything. So, once you become smarter, and figuring out about the narcissist, about their ways, they start the smear campaign because they already trying to protect themselves. They already are trying to build alliances with people to go against you. Their takedown is just very, very strategic. It's just so, it's very, very hard to digest for a lot of people because the way they try to take you down, that's why a lot of survivors are, they deal with so much health-wise. Your health starts to deteriorate because the way that they take you down is so strategic. It's like it's planned out so well. Like they have the mind of like a serial killer. If you watch some of the shows like Criminal Minds and things of that nature, they're so strategic. Like the way that they plot, they are plotters. Yes, they plot. So I think a lot of people wonder about their IQ, and just to have, just to be able to do that, just to be able to plan in that way, it's almost like mathematical. They'll sit here and they'll bet, like they'll say, if I do this, then she's going to react this way. If she doesn't react this way, then she might react that way, but I'm gonna get one of the other reactions from her. That's why a lot of people are just so devastated. You have to be careful with these individuals. You have to be really, really careful. And the education is everything. The learning is everything. The more you learn, the more you'll learn how to stay away from them. Because if you're in the devil's playground, which I call it, their playing ground, their fields, you're staying in the same city, or you go into the same places, or you have some type of predictable pattern, then they're going to more than likely set you up, because right now they don't like you and you're a threat to them. So yeah. And they'll triangulate you with other people, other females, males, whatever they need to do. So the trauma and the stress in your life is going to change your whole outlook, the way you act, the way you think. You're really going to be a different person after all of this abuse, guys, because the abuse just takes a big toll on your self-esteem as well. You feel rejected from other people. Some people will actually stop talking to you because they just don't believe you. They believe the narcissist. So that's a big, that's a lot of trauma right there, to be abused by somebody, to be smeared, them spreading smear campaigns, and then other people that just don't like you anymore, that you used to be friends with, that know you, and they just believe the narcissist, what they're saying. So it's just very hard. It's a lot to deal with. It's very hard. It's very, very tough. I'm not going to lie. You're going to lose some friends or lose some people that were in your life. But, moving on, in court, the narcissists, they cry. They'll cry in front of a judge, to try to get sympathy. They're really, really crazy in it. And I just hope that the more that we learn, hopefully it can get to, this information can get into school systems one day, and get into a political setting, get into legal settings. I think this really needs to travel that way up there. I feel like it can change. Things are going to change one day. I'm just going to be positive. That's why I'm, making these videos. I just feel like, it has to change. It's just too much information out here for judges just not to know about this. They need to know. They need to understand the full detail, not just a little description or, that they're reading on the internet. They need to understand all of these things, as a whole. So, again, narcissists fight so hard in court. Domestic violence court, taking them to court for hitting on you, that will cause a narc injury. They will start stalking you during the court process, after the court process, while you have a restraining order against them. They're going to break the restraining order trying to get to you because they're upset that you put them out there, that that they have to deal with some legal consequences. And narcissists know what they did to you. They just don't want to go to jail for it. It's kind of like, just making a bad decision. Like, how thieves, they steal things from the store, but they just don't want to go to jail for it. They just want to just steal and go home and go on their way, but they don't want to face consequences. Narcissists are like that when it comes to hitting you and physically abusing you. They know what they did. They know it was, they know they should be punished for it. But they just feel like, their double standards, they had to do what they had to do, or you weren't acting the way you should. And they wanted to, just discipline you the way that they wanted to discipline you. And they don't want to face, the consequence for it. So they're going, it's just their entitlement. They feel like they have the right to do, like they're a god. They think they are gods. They have the right to do whatever they need to do to get things done, even if it's, legally wrong or whatever, morally wrong. They just still feel like they have to do what they had to do. So their attachment to you, they don't like to be kept away from you by way of court orders. So yes, your tires may be slashed or your windows may be broken. You're going to be constantly living in fear with the restraining order. And you would think that, when you get a restraining order, you're going to be more comfortable. This person going to stay away from you, but that's not necessarily how it works, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist. Actually, the opposite of that works. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be stressed and worried because you never know where they're going to show up at or break the order. They're going to be places that they know that you're going to be at, stalking and harassing you because they don't want to face any consequences, and they feel like they shouldn't be held away from you. Like you're blocking access from them. They have a strong sense of entitlement, like they had to do what they had to do when it came to abusing you. So you should have learned a lesson, but this is too far. You're taking things too far, but you're not. You're protecting yourself, because nobody should have to go through being abused. So everybody, that's been abused, even myself, I had to learn how to be safe. I have to learn how to fight back against your abuser. It's a lot of information online about that, just learning, just being stronger, learning how to make these orders work for you. I always talk about cameras, and in my state, they actually give you a free gun registration for domestic violence survivors. I don't I'm sorry, I worded that wrong. If you have gotten a restraining order, or you were abused, you get a free gun registration. So I don't know how other states are, but that's great. So my state seems really in support of domestic violence survivors. So I'm thankful about that, but I'm pretty sure not every state is the same, and unfortunately, narcissists do get away with a lot of things that they shouldn't get away with, guys. So I want to real quick talk about the O.J. Simpson thing. The case, who is definitely a malignant narcissist. O.J. Simpson is a malignant narcissist. Once I already knew, because this is such a big case. I already knew from watching some of his older interviews. I said, this guy just seems too charming. Every time I see him on TV, he's just charming. So the last interview I watched, I'm going to put the link below, but he did this. This was an interesting interview because he did it years ago, but he just kind of told on himself, and all of her friends were there. I think it's on YouTube right now, kind of trending, but he was talking in third person. He was talking about Charlie did this, Charlie, hurt Nicole, and this, that, and the third. And he's talking about himself basically. And I guess it's him in his mind saying that, admitting it, but not really admitting it, since the trial was already over and things of that nature. So I guess that's about as close as he's going to get to talking about it. So he was really just so manipulative, turning everything around in the interview. And I just really think that he went off on Nicole and did one of the reasons he did what he did. I don't know every little thing, but he said that he's seen her with another guy. Like, he came over and he's seen her being, intimate with another guy. So I think that set him off, because I think he felt entitled to her. I think they were on and off. And I think that, since she was so on and off with him, he always thought that he had her, like she belonged to him. I don't think he ever thought she would really move on, like, even though they divorced. I think he thought it was okay for him to do his thing, but for her, it was not okay. I think he looked at her as a piece of property, and she always belonged to him. But I think it kind of changed for him when he really seen her with that other guy, and, he started gang stalking her. He had all his friends and stuff following her to some type of restaurant or something like that. So he was really enraged, and he did what he did. But I definitely know, I can tell he's a malignant narcissist. These guys are just too charming. They're too smooth of talkers, and I can just see right through him. It's just obvious. And the sad thing about it, I read a few articles, his children are, he has a relationship with them. They said that they believe that the children, especially the little girl that he has with Nicole, believes that some type of gang members did that to her mom. And I'm like, you see how narcissists can turn things around so well and just manipulate people and their kids, and people end up feeling so sorry for them. They just don't believe that they're capable of doing that because of how charming they are. They will charm anybody. That's just what they specialize in doing. Even female narcissists, they are just so charming. So charming. They know how to charm people, how to butter people up. So his kids, it's just sad that they don't know that their biological father did this to their mom and to their mom's friend. So that's what I feel like happened in that situation right there. And it's just so sad, because I feel like it was so public, because another thing to look at, it was a lot of things going on during that time with the Los Angeles Police Department and police brutality, racism, and things of that nature. And a lot of people that, that look a certain way just felt some type of way about the OJ thing, and it was just so much publicity behind that case. And I feel like that was one of the reasons that helped him get off, along with the glove thing. But it was just so sad because I hear they did a study that people now, compared to back then, that believe OJ did it. I felt like the survey now says a lot of people. I'm sorry, let me slow down. Back then, they said a lot. They did a survey about whether they feel like O.J. Simpson did it or not, and a lot of people said like no. I don't know the exact percentage, but it was a large percent of people that said they didn't believe he did it. They believe he was innocent. Now, a lot of more people believe he did it. So, malignant narcissists, the world is not used to seeing them like that. They're not used to dealing with this. That's why I think that case was so big. A lot of people I feel like in the legal system, they knew he was guilty. They just, I feel like a lot of people understand he's a murderer. That's what he is. But just malignant narcissists, guys, that charm, the charming, the manipulation that they do, a lot of people in the world just cannot handle that this person is a cold-blooded killer. They just can't dissect that. They can't understand it. So, guys, that's I said a lot. I said a lot. I got a little fired up in this video about domestic violence, but I just hope that this was able to help somebody, especially if they're in a situation with a narcissist. Please get out. If you listen to this and you're with a narcissist, please leave. It's only going to get worse. If they abuse you once, they're going to abuse you again, because that's what they do. They will not stop, and it will get worse and worse every time. It really will. I know people say that, but it really will. It really will. Trust me, it happened to me. I know it's not going to end. So, yeah, guys, please continue, guys, to share this video with others. Thank you for everybody that's new here, guys. Don't be afraid to comment below. I'm pretty good about answering my comments. Reach out to me if you want some free coaching, guys. I don't mind doing it right now. And let's continue to, guys, let's continue to spread the awareness, help everybody that you can, help our brothers and sisters. Let's continue to survive this narcissism and abuse, guys. So have a blessed day, guys.